right. Okay. We are live. Yay.
Yay! There was a total meltdown. Why is there always a meltdown on Saturdays? I don't know. I am Molly Sleuth. I am originally you didn't know that I already brought the screenshots, Danielle. I'm originally a loser punk from the city of Los Angeles, where I crawled off the goth dance floor. Danielle, do you remember this, Molly?
Oh, yes. That's when I first met you.
And then I became a big city cop. And I've handled thousands of radio calls and crime reports for life gone wrong, as well as fully documenting my own dating failures that I'd rather die alone on Instagram. So that's me.
Yay. We have a message from Kim. She says, "Hi, Molly. Yay."
Yay! Hi, Kim. Come over.
Yeah. Come on over. Well, I'm Danielle Noire. I am also from California, previous retail bound California death rocker, turned corporate exec. I live nestled snugly in the Rocky Mountains now, and I'm joining forces with longtime pal Molly so that we can share our failures and successes so that you can become more powerful. Yay. We also got a hello from Texas from Rod. And
Yay! Hi, Rod. I don't
people,
know if you're on YouTube or Rumble, but I think we decided to put it on both this week. We'll see. You know, I hate YouTube because of all their censorship, and then they hide live chats and all this stuff. But at any rate, and also Savannah is a new friend that I made yesterday, and she is as cute as can be, a little 21-year-old, and I want to talk to her about dating stuff soon enough. So maybe, hopefully, you guys will be able to see
we
her.
will we will help the whole world eventually, one person at a time.
Yeah. But also, we really do want to do more in terms of helping people with their dating apps and stuff, like not just old dudes looking for a wife, like everyone. So, will you get a hold of us? Let's do this. Every kind of person. And we really grew a lot this week. So, thank you everyone for liking and subscribing. It makes my little heart feel so happy. And it also unlocks all kinds of other features and shit. So that's really awesome. And I'm glad that we're helping people, or at least it helps them that they laugh at us. I don't really know which. But today, you want to tell them what we're talking about today?
Today we are talking about self-esteem. Ah, so important for all of us, ourselves included. So we are going to be giving practical tips. Get a pen and paper. Do people still use those? I do. There's science behind writing stuff down, like actually writing it versus typing it or
Oh,
texting it.
yeah. No, it is true. And in fact, I watched this whole video today or this week about should you write in blue ink or black ink? And it basically is just like what makes you feel good. You know, sometimes people have that like weird purple marker that they write with. Like depends on, you know, if you're filling out a job application and your purple marker, good luck to you. But yeah.
That's true. I have a whole bunch of colored pens here. So I love all the colors.
Yes.
And I have blue. Yeah. So I'll be taking notes as well.
Yeah. So self-esteem, it really is at the core of getting your shit together. And so even if you feel that your life is fucking great, then send this to other people, especially during the holidays. We're all going through shit. I know Danielle, you were saying the holiday gloom, whatever you
Yeah, it's
call
like
it.
this seasonal depressive disorder that people get during the holidays for various reasons. It's supposed to be an exciting time, but for many people it's a depressing time. So
I mean, Thanksgiving's good, even if you're at home alone with a spoon and your can of black olives, like I am. It's still a delicious time of year.
it is. And you just get to wear your sweats and, lay on the couch.
Yeah, clearly I dressed up for this.
But
Um,
yeah,
so
so what is self-esteem? So I have the definition here. Self-esteem is how you
good.
value and think about yourself, and it's based on your beliefs and opinions. It can be positive or negative, and it's an evaluation of your worth, and it can affect how you like and value yourself. This is very important.
Yeah.
It's important because people can have low or high self-esteem. So some reasons why would somebody have low self-esteem? It could be from like past trauma that's happened in their life, so they don't think they're a good enough person anymore. Maybe they went through a bad breakup, like me, getting fired from a job, just getting kind of rejection from anything at all. Like maybe you tried out to be on the gymnastics team or part of some group or crew and they rejected you. Could be illness, you get sick. And then, as Molly shared, loneliness, especially during the holidays, just not having people around to do stuff with. And then you see everybody else, you see all these Hallmark holiday movies, and everyone's finding love and doing all the things and chopping down Christmas trees together. And you're like,
Yeah.
I'm just
Also,
here.
just like having critical parents or just having this like
Yes.
unreasonable expectation for yourself. So I think this video is just all about like giving yourself a fucking break. And we're going to give you practical ways to be able to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get your shit together. Because really, when you believe in yourself, like the entire world changes. And I guess if I had one magical power in this planet, it would be to give everybody that really good sense of self, because then you're totally fearless and like ready to do shit that other people would be
Absolutely.
scared to do. Like a podcast on Saturday afternoons.
I know. Look at our self-esteem. Who knew? Who knew?
Who knew?
So some behaviors of people that have low self-esteem. If you're wondering, do I have low self-esteem? So some behaviors is negative self-talk. So that's me that I'm trying to fix. People pleasing. So you're always putting people in front of yourself, their wants and needs before yours. Constant comparison. That's something I'm also really bad at, especially with social media. Just constantly comparing how you look or accomplishments to something somebody else achieved. It's horrible. We need to stop doing it. A lot of self-doubt and indecisiveness. So if you have low self-esteem, you don't trust your intuition or your decisions. Lack of boundaries. That's another big one. A negative body image, fear of failure. So you just don't do anything at all. Like, look at Molly and me. We're out here, failing every Saturday on our podcast.
Fear of failure. Look at Molly.
And sometimes difficulty accepting compliments. Like, you look beautiful today, Molly. I love the green and blue. It's awesome. And the creepy.
You're the cutest guy on the planet.
Yeah.
It also makes you a lot more vulnerable to stuff, though.
Yes.
Because it's like if somebody has to talk shit about you, that says more about who they are than who you are. But if you're not in a good place yourself, then you might think, oh, I must really be dumb, fat, ugly, whatever. Like maybe you are dumb, fat, ugly, whatever. Who gives a shit? Like we're not all supermodels.
No.
Get over it. We're all gonna look like Yoda one day.
If we're lucky.
So,
yeah.
but it does make you more vulnerable to like more bullshit and more criticism and not looking at it in terms of the person who's giving you the news.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like that low self-esteem has you allow other people to define your own worth and value instead of you defining it for yourself.
And people who aren't rooting for you, which is the worst people that could define who they think that you should be.
Exactly. People that wear, socks with sandals and they're telling you don't know how to dress. Like, come on. Right. So what does good self-esteem and high confidence do for you? So what are some benefits of having that good self-esteem?
Endless benefits. It makes you pick a better mate because you like would be going on the first, second, third date and be like, yeah, no, I'm good. It makes you stand up for yourself more. It makes you fight for that raise at work or apply for jobs that might be above your level when you just look at the surface of what they're asking for in the job description. People with more self-esteem get more promotions at work. They're magnetic. They have more friends. They have better friends. They're more productive, believe it or not, because they don't spend a lot of time in that self-doubt area. We'll get to-do lists a little bit later in this. But they achieve more and they feel more powerful, more secure, less shit rattles them. It's like, those people who would get a flat tire and the day is over for them. Call off, I can't go to work now. I can't possibly do anything because I've got this flat tire. And like some of us just go, well, that sucks. And we go, we get the tire and we figure it out and we wash our hands when we get to work late and apologize. So it really is at the core of like helping you at every step of the way, giving you like the most solid foundation for everything that you're going to do in life. Really starts with how you feel about yourself. And everyone should have it. So
Yes. Yeah, it also helps too with just like mental health. So that's kind of a given. So when you have better self-esteem and confidence, you feel better mentally. Your depression's less, your anxiety's less, any of the other gross stuff that goes on in the brain is better. I think you touched on a lot of stuff. The thing about the tire, getting a flat tire is like resilience. You have improved resilience to life's shit. Like
Yeah,
it happens every day. We don't have control over it, and how you
yeah.
get over it and move on with your day has a lot to do with confidence and um,
And
that.
just having a sense of humor about the bad shit. Like life sucks sometimes, and just like if you could make it funny, like how much more resilient would you be? Like bring it on. Like there have been things that have happened to me in my life where I'm just like, I'll just pretend that I'm on a TV show about bullshit and be like, well, there it is. There I go. Like fucking you sure did that, Molly. Like, dropping everything or, falling off a ladder and the paint goes everywhere or whatever the case is.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be huge things, but just to be able to like shrug shit off. Oh, I wanted to show you. I wore this pin today. So dumb. Um, it's a little. How do I do
Like a
this?
little meter. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just like you swing this little fuck arrow around, and it says if you should fuck off, fuck it, fuck that, fuck you, fuck me, or fuck this.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Sort of like a magic 8 ball, only
I
for
love
fun
it.
and
We
magical.
all need that. I just have my little owl. Oh, I forget. It's turned around. We also have a beautiful comment from Jasmine. She says, "Yes, that negative mindset where all you do is panic and then you don't know how to stop." Yeah, we all
Yeah,
need those spaces.
yeah, to be able to snap out of it. And we're going to give some really good practical tips to be able to just like stop your brain from that downward spiral and to just like, okay, I got to triage and figure out what's important to do right now. I think I know Jazz from I'd Rather Die Alone. She's funny as hell, or at least she thinks
Oh,
I'm funny as hell, and she thinks I love her. So, um,
that's wonderful. So yeah, and so like the more shit you go through, the more you like recover for it and the stronger you get. And strength is super sexy and attractive, like so it's okay that we're dealing with shit. It's how you get out of it and move on and you become a stronger person.
yeah, it's true. Like we really need to look at these bullshit. We'll just talk about the flat tire. Thank God for the flat tire because that's how you drive around feeling so confident. Like if the tire blows, I'm good. Like those people who are like, well, I don't know that I could drive at night because what if my tire blows and then they don't go to the party and whatever. It's like, go to the party, you'll be fine. So I think it really is every bad thing that has happened to me has made me stronger. It's made me funnier. It's made me relate to people better. Like, thank God my life has been shit. Because it really has, every single one of those things has been such an asset for me to be able to help others and help myself.
Yes, absolutely. I do think there's a direct correlation to how funny you are with how much shit you've had to put up with in your life. That's why we're so hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. But these spirals can be really bad. I mean, they
Yes.
can be, without using words that YouTube won't allow us to use, they can be life threatening. They can make you in a place where you just literally can't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, I think this video that we're doing today, I think it's so important. And I think it's worth sharing to others because there's a lot of people that go through stuff. And I know just being a cop for so many years, I had two girlfriends on the department that took the emergency exit, and both of them were girls that on the surface, like I was jealous of. They both were so much prettier than me and popular than me, and like I would have traded them. But they just like lacked that feeling of trusting themselves in a way that was like both of them had problems that were totally solvable. And because they didn't have all these tips and tricks that some of us do have that we're going to share today, they just literally couldn't see the end of their problems. And
Yeah.
so these downward spirals, like it's not anything to joke about. Like people really do go through some very dark stuff. And I think if you can give yourself a fucking break and do one of these billion things that we're going to tell you can lift you out of a fog, like do it. You owe that to yourself. Because we're rooting for you. And in a way that you can't possibly understand how much I root for you guys. But yeah, going through shit, it can also ding your self-esteem and make you feel like, oh, everything bad happens to me. But
Yeah,
actually
that's
going through shit
yeah.
can really pick you up. So give yourself some praise and like all those good things that like that perfect mommy figure, that nurturing warmth and support and love, like give yourself a break. Because if you're critical about you, like you're the only person that you have to be that perfect person that you need, while the rest of the world fails you. So the validation and encouragement, that you didn't get from a criticizing partner or a cold parent or whatever it is, to really love yourself,
Yes.
because nobody can love you like you can love you.
Oh, yes. That is true. And that's so um, important. I have struggled with that a lot in my life. It's like just being myself, being true to myself. Because I think, oh, who would like me? I'm always constantly comparing myself and trying to be somebody else, when really that's the most important thing, is to be yourself and be authentic. You'd be surprised how difficult it is for people to just be themselves and authentic, primarily because they think their true selves, their authentic self, isn't good enough. Well, people won't like me if I show up as myself, or people will think I'm weird or strange or whatever.
Yeah.
But really, it's such an attractive quality to show up as yourself. And not only when you're authentic, you feel good because you're being yourself and you're not pretending to be somebody else, but you make others around you feel good, safe, comfortable. They're like, oh, look how natural and authentic this person is. I can be myself with them too. So you automatically bring people to you, and they like that energy and light.
Yeah.
And that shows through. It's very obvious when you're putting on a show or a mask, and that makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you say like, oh, I'm afraid to be like weird, because I think that's why I love you, Danielle, and why we've been friends for so many years. Because you are true to yourself and you give yourself such a hard time, which I don't understand, because like I would trade you. Like you have an awesome life, and um I think comparison can like truly honestly, like it's a facade anyway. Of course, like if I turn this camera around, like there's like equipment that didn't work at 12:59 and like just garbage, like really to stop, because everybody, whether it's a coworker or somebody that you see online or whatever, I gotta show these. This is like the perfect time for it. So this is me.
Woo, woo, woo.
This is me.
How-
And so like you might look at that girl and go, oh, she's really confident and she's really awesome, and like I wish that I could be her, but like understand this is also me. And I can tell you right now, this girl has so much more confidence than this girl does. And so, fuck it. Like, embrace everything that you are. Nobody else is you. And that's what is so exciting. Nobody else has your particular 11 herbs and spices when it comes to how genuine you are, or generous with your friends, or how funny you are, or creative, or talented, or hardworking, or any of the metrics that are more important than like having wrinkleless skin and like all the crap that we look at online and think like, oh, I wish I looked like that girl. Like, fuck that. I wish I was as funny as that girl. This is the person I would want to be friends with. Like, I can't believe I just showed up. The point is, like, don't compare yourself to other people, because you truly don't know like who people are at home.
Yeah.
Danielle, you just came to the Midwest and hung out with me for a few days, and like we there were many moments where we were not at our best, tired as hell.
But we had so much fun, and that's what makes hanging out with you so awesome, is that I can be myself. There's no judgment. It's just you feel more relaxed being that way for yourself, as well as being around other people that are that way, and kind of like a no judgment zone, and just accepting yourself and accepting others for who they are. So let's see here. We have here, it's a cycle. If you believe you're not enough and you act like you're not enough, then your mind starts believing that, right?
Oh, it totally is true. It really is a cycle. And so you can actually break your own cycle. So I think we want to talk about that kind of stuff. But I think part of it is, and I think I talked to you about this before, Danielle, that there's like a whole mom thing where you always eat the broken cookie. Like you make the cookies for the
Yes,
kids. And
yes.
you always eat the broken one because you feel like, well, I don't want to take like the really nice, beautiful one. The kids don't know what's on the tray. Take the good cookie. You made the cookies, so you eat the best cookie, and then they'll eat the broken cookie. They'll still be glad for the broken cookie. And I am like, yesterday I went to the grocery store and I was buying my haul, and there were all these green peppers there, and there were some that were like so deformed and disgusting. And I always tend to buy those ones because I don't know if it's like my empathy center is like way too jacked up, but I always feel like nobody's gonna buy that pepper. That pepper lived for
Oh,
nothing. Nobody's gonna eat it. I need to eat it. But like, but also, if you're in a place of negative self-esteem where you're like, well, I just deserve the bad one, like, get the best pepper in the store and be excited about it when you're like going
that's what I
to cut
got.
it up and like
Yes.
cook it. And it's like, dude, I got the very best pepper in the store. Because also that does translate to like relationships that you have and stuff too. It's like, okay, well, nobody else wanted to date this guy, so I guess I will. Like, nobody wanted to date him for a reason. Run. Like,
That's
so
such a funny and smart analogy. I never thought of it that way. But yeah, it's
yeah,
like this empathy you have for the stuff that you deserve, everything from a piece of food to a life
yeah,
partner. Why wouldn't you want to pick the best partner in the store,
right.
as it was?
But also, like, when you're going and looking for a job, like, you should always be aiming higher than where you're at because that's how you grow.
Yes.
And even with friends, like, you should always want to be around people. And if Kim is the Kim that I think is Kim, she is the most amazing person. She is the hardest worker, and she's so creative, and she's constantly doing these amazing things. She's so fearless, and it doesn't come from a place of her being the most perfect human being or having the greatest life or nothing bad ever happens to her. She's had some crazy stuff going on at her house recently, with live things that are trying to take over her kitchen. And but what I love about her is like, dude, she's such a fighter, and she's so amazing when it comes to just like digging in and getting shit done. So like,
Yeah.
I want to ride the tail of the comet. Like, I always want to hang out with her. Like, what is she doing now? Like,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely. There's this quote. I forget who said it, so I apologize. But if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You always want to be around people that are bigger, better, brighter than you, to help push you and to help motivate and inspire you. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, really. It's not just about the best pepper. Like, pick the best friends, pick the best everything. But yeah, so you were talking about the cycle. And I think what's interesting is it takes repetition to cycle that down. It takes repetition to cycle that up. And so it's not like, oh, I took one bubble bath and now I feel great about myself and I can go apply for a college that would ordinarily never accept me, or however.
Yeah.
It really does take practice. But you have the rest of your life to cycle up and up and up. So let's start today.
Yeah, that's very another important point. It's something that I've been focusing on this week personally through all my books I'm reading and podcasts I'm listening to, is that yeah, it's not an overnight thing. Just like if you were to go to a gym and work out for an hour, you wouldn't expect you'd be all ripped. You have to go for months and months, and then you'll slowly start seeing effect. People know that about things like learning something new or learning a new craft or talent or instrument or whatever, but they don't always apply that to their own positive mindset. For myself, like I've had a negative mindset for decades, and I worked hard thinking poorly about myself to really like create those wires in my brain, and they're thick and gnarly and have thorns. It's not going to change overnight. It's going to take lots of work and practice every day to switch that mindset to a positive one so that my brain starts to get rewired. And so yeah, it's like don't give up hope. It's something you're gonna have to put work into. And as they always say, you know, progress isn't linear. You might have good days and bad days, but as long as you continue to push forward through, you'll eventually break the cycle. You will. Doesn't seem like it sometimes, but you'll get there.
So have you heard of the Pygmalion effect?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it's this idea that when you believe you can do something, or somebody like a teacher tells you that they think that you can do this, that it actually increases your ability to do it. And so even if you don't believe in yourself, if you have people around you that are rooting for you and saying, Danielle, I really think that you could do whatever to that it actually increases your efficacy and your ability to do things that you didn't think were possible.
That's pretty
So,
awesome.
right. And so that means like we also have this power to help other people do more than they can do. And I had a very dear friend of mine who died a couple years ago of cancer, Monica. And it was funny. We were talking about something, and I was like, "You are so good at researching, though. So whatever you come up with, blah, 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 blah." I don't even remember what we were talking about. I just know that for years, Monica was researching all this stuff about her cancer and different medications and all this other stuff. And she was like, yeah, because you said that I'm good at researching. And it was like she got good at research. I mean, she was good at researching, but she really dove into that because then all of a sudden she was associating herself with being good at researching. And so imagine what you could do for other people, the friends and family and loved ones and coworkers. Like are any of my coworkers watching right now? I will tell my coworker, you are so good at this, to like delegate some responsibility to someone else. Like, oh yeah, but you're really good at this.
Never seen anyone staple like you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could be a little manipulative too. Yeah, but it's called the Pygmalion effect, and you can look into it, whatever.
That's very yeah.
Yeah. So it's like everything. It's with education. It's kind of how hypnotherapy works in a way, because you're like unlocking your subconscious to tell you you can run faster, you can throw the basketball in the hoop better, you can, do whatever. You can retain knowledge better when you're cramming for exams. And so, and even the placebo effect, you take your little pill and you feel like you're cured. There is an element to that working too. So,
yeah, that is very true. I've read a lot of books on PTSD and how they've helped a lot of people through placebo, and it's incredible what your mind does. Your mind can heal you. I truly believe that, or it can like literally kill you. And it's all about what you put into it.
Yeah.
But speaking about, the good things about yourself, yes, you can share that with others and it can help them feel more confident and better about themselves. But don't wait for somebody to compliment you. Today's the day to start complimenting yourself. So Molly and I talked earlier about creating this asset list.
Yeah.
So list things that you're good at. And Molly's the one that taught me to do that. A few years ago, we were talking, I was going through an extremely rough time and I was just feeling so down and dark. And she's like, look at all the stuff you've accomplished, write it down. And I was like, what? Why? Like, who cares? And it's about your mindset, and writing all that stuff down made me realize like, I did do a lot of good shit and I have overcome a lot of stuff. So,
yeah.
Make yourself multiple asset lists. You can write down a list of all the stuff that you're good at. Like, what do you think you're good at? Not necessarily what other people do, but write what you're good at. What makes you unique? What are some cool, weird, quirky things that make you unique? What do you like to do? That was another thing I realized for a long time. I was focusing so much time on work and my kids, and people would often ask me like, what do you do for fun? And I'm like, cry. Like, I don't have any hobbies or things, and I'm like, what happened? I used to have such a like full life, but I let other stuff get in the way. So I started making an effort to make time for myself and do hobbies and stuff. I mean, even if it's something simple around the house, like home repair, baking, taking walks, pick up a hobby, write all that stuff down and remind yourself, like, no, you're cool and you're doing stuff. And if you don't have stuff to do, fucking go out and start doing some shit. We'll have some
If you
ideas.
don't have enough to do, come over to my house.
Yes.
I will give you something to do.
Yes. Another one is, what do your friends love you for? So this was a fun exercise I read in a book. I think it was The Anxious Heart's Guide by Ricky Cluse. I'm not a paid advertiser for her, but it was a book I read because I'm an anxious person and I loved the book. But it was an exercise in there that told you to go ask your 5 closest friends. You could ask your coworkers or family if you don't have a lot of friends, but ask your 5 closest people, what are 3 traits or 3 words to describe me? So, I asked Molly, was one of the people I asked, like, what are 3 words that you think of when you think of me? And then write it down. And so I got all the 3 words back from everybody, and it made me feel so good about myself. Like, people think I'm funny.
I don't even remember what I said.
I have it written here in a book somewhere. But that made me feel really fucking good about myself. And so do exercises like that, and
I have an exercise for you.
what is it? 10 jumping jacks?
No, this is totally stupid.
It's my favorite kind of exercise.
Okay, the next time you are sitting in the toilet and you have a minute to just zone out, whatever, you're going to think of 10 things that you're grateful for right there in that bathroom.
On the toilet? All right.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, well, I mean, I kind of like that I dress like a 5-year-old. I think that makes me feel happy. It's cute when you're 5, it's cute when you're 95. Why do other people have to have a hiatus? I'm happy about my fashion sense. I'm looking around the bathroom and I painted it the color that I like. So I feel good about allowing myself to have nice things around me. Looking at the sink, you might say, I feel good that I take care of my acne with this particular soap. I care for myself. Look at the things in the bathtub and how, I'm glad that I know how to pamper myself and give myself a break. We'll get into some of the pampering stuff, but food coloring, a couple drops in your bathtub, it's a total game changer. You're like, I feel like purple today, or I feel like yellow today, or I feel like green today. You just put a couple drops in your bathtub. I'm probably the only person under 90 that takes a bath, but it really is like it kind of sets a mood, and then you're like, ooh, I feel
That's
really,
really
whatever today.
cool. That's really cool. I've never heard, but I love this grateful potty time hour. I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it as we're coining.
Driving, traffic, whatever. Just like when you have a second to just sort of sit with yourself, do it. Oh, also with the food coloring, put it in when there's already water in the tub. You don't want straight food coloring on your bathtub surface.
Good tip. Good tip. But I love that. So many of us sit on the toilet and scroll on our phones, like they have memes about it. And it's like, why not do something that actually benefits your mental health? And Rod just made a comment and he said, can I record myself saying how good I am and then play it on a loop? Yes, you can, Rod. That is another exercise I read from another book. It talked about leaving yourself voice notes about how awesome you are and then playing them every morning for yourself for like 15 days. I forgot what book I read this, and I'll have to look it up. And that is supposed to change your mindset. So you could do that too. There's just so many tips.
I don't know that I could do that. But I think my morning alarm that wakes up, because I've got several alarms to keep me like on track when I get up, when I get out of the bathtub, when I start warming up my car or whatever. Because it's snow country here. And I think each one has some kind of positive something or other. Like, hooray, is like you're awake, feet are hitting the floor or whatever. But you can have them say like funny things if you have alarms that you have set too. You could put a little sticky on the bathroom mirror. Or like I have funny pictures all over the place. I love monsters, so I have a lot of house plants. So I hide monsters like in my house plants, and it just makes me kind of like laugh when I'm watering the plants and I see some like creature looking at me. It makes me happy.
Oh, that's yeah. There's a whole we could do a whole episode about creating a positive space for yourself because a lot of people don't realize how much that impacts your mental health. Is just
Mhm.
the environment you live in as well as the environment you work in, but especially the environment you live in. So I don't know. We can get on 50 tangents. Let's
That means I
see.
have to clean my place.
Yeah, just one room. We'll do one room at a time. Uh,
um,
let's see. You have
yeah,
a in
but
your
like
notes
when
here.
you do your asset list, do a bunch, like at least 10, because
Yes.
it's the first ones that don't really mean a whole lot anyway. And it makes you dig in your mind. So you want to make it hard. You want to have as many as you start to really have to think about who you are, because that's like where the real exercise starts.
Yeah, absolutely. In our notes, you have this wonderful quote from Albert Einstein. Do you want to share that?
Oh, yeah. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. He was kind of a smart guy, so I trust him on that one. But yeah, like give yourself a break. You can't be great at everything. And, Victoria's Secret's not knocking down my door because
Not yet.
they just aren't. But you can't be great at everything. So just
Yeah.
be really great at the things that you're great at and learn some other things too. But to only set yourself to the standard of this is what I value. If you're not good at it, then that's like going to be a real downer to be trying to meet some kind of standard that you're never going to get to.
Absolutely. I remind my kids of this as well. They get down on themselves if they're not doing well in a certain subject or certain project, but they do so well in other stuff. And I remind them too, same thing. You can't get A's on everything, and that's okay. We're not meant to be that way unless you're Albert Einstein or something. Um, you know, focus on and give yourself kudos for the stuff you do well. So much, it's so easy to fall to the negative. Oh, I messed this up. I'm not good at this or that. And we don't spend enough time praising ourselves for what we are good at. I'm really big into journaling. Journaling is another uh, tip or exercise that has helped a lot of people. It just depends. Again, all of our tips, take some, leave some, like a penny at the liquor store. They're not all going to work for everybody, but some of the stuff works really well for people. And some people love journaling. I have lots of journals where I keep little notes. I have ones for to-do lists, but I also started one this year where it was specifically positive thoughts. Like when I was in a good mood and had positive thoughts I wanted to share with myself about healing or my progress I've been making. So I just put that in a specific journal. And then when I was feeling down, I would just go and read my entries and it would lift me up and make me feel better. So it's, again, you're doing it yourself to help yourself feel better. So if you like writing and you want to get your thoughts out, journaling is really good. There's tons of websites out there too that give you journal prompts. If you're like, I don't know what to write about, there's lots of websites out there that you can look for positive journal prompts and then get a question of the day. I'm sure there's probably an app that'll give you a question of the day to write out and write it. And that's going to start getting your mind to think more positively.
Yeah. Also to look at the stuff that you don't like about yourself and pick one that you can improve on.
Well,
What is it that negative belief or what you don't like about yourself? I don't like that, I'm fat. Okay, that's totally doable for most people. So then you can delineate like the steps of what you're going to do to get through that problem. I don't like that, I moved to a new place and I don't have any friends. What can I do to make friends? Join places that do hobbies with things that I like, where I can meet people that I like. I made so many friends last weekend. I hosted my lie detection game at
oh,
UConn in
yes.
Ypsilanti, Michigan. It was a riot. I think I got like 8 hours sleep the entire weekend. I was hosting the game till 2:30 in the morning. I was absolutely certain that there was no way I was going to have a voice at the end of the week. Um, but it was just so fun, and I met some really great people, and It's something I don't know that everybody could just get in a car and drive an hour and a half to be in an absolute huge auditorium with nobody that you know and just do it. But I think when you have self-esteem, it's like I know that somebody in here wants to be my friend, so let's play games. And um, but yeah, so pick something bad maybe that you want to fix. If you're there, if you're not even there and everything is bad, then maybe save all that self-improvement and just move on to like these nurturing tips.
Yes.
But there's a lot of shit that doesn't work for us. And
Yes.
just keep us in a really like bad place, like having no sleep.
Oh my God. Yeah, I would love to talk about this one because this is something
Okay.
that has impacted me so much. I didn't used to have issues with sleep for decades. I was fine. And then a few years ago, I went through a really difficult situation. Molly was there the whole time. But the what was happening to me fucked up my nervous system, and I stopped sleeping. And it was so bizarre because I never experienced. I had no problem falling asleep. I was so exhausted at the end of the day, I'd fall asleep in 60 seconds or less. But I'd wake up every single morning between 2 and 3 a.m. and I could not go back to sleep. My mind would ruminate. I'd be wired. I couldn't shut my mind off, and it started having health, negative health impact on me. And I started getting sick. I was unfocused. I even started like hallucinating a little. It was dangerous. It wasn't good, and I was just beside myself. I didn't know what to do, and I had went on all the websites and blogs to see like how do you help yourself sleep better. So there certainly are tactics to help, and sometimes you need medication. I ended up getting on medication for a short period, and it reset my system, and now I can sleep. And now I sometimes say I'm not advocating for this, but allergy pills at night, like
Oh,
like Benadryl or Zyrtec or whatever,
I
puts me.
have a bottle of Benadryl. I wrote instant nap on it because it's like as much as my eyes are puffy or whatever, like you're about to be unconscious.
Yeah. So I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV. Please go to actual medical professional. But now sometimes when I'm feeling stressed, I'll just take an allergy pill before bed, and I'm good as new. But some stuff that helps. Obviously, you need to get on a sleep schedule. So if you're all over the place, maybe your job requires it. That's unfortunate if so, but try to get to bed at this around the same time every night and get up at the same time. Even on those weekends or when you don't have work on whatever day that is, you think, oh, I'm going to stay up late and play World of Warcraft and get up at noon the next day. It fucks you up.
Mhm.
Even just those one-off things. Having caffeine too late in the day. I I don't even drink coffee. I'm a little bit of a nervous person, if you can't tell. So I just have my 1 cup of green tea in the morning. If I have any more, I shit my pants. So that's not an issue for me. And some people say they can drink a cup of coffee before bed and they go right to sleep, but that's not me. So no, if you have sensitivity to caffeine, don't drink it afternoon. Um, let's see, disorganized home. Like just that's again that comment about space. Like if your space is really dirty and disorganized, that affects you, and that can prevent you from having a good night's sleep. And there's tons of blogs and books all about setting up the perfect sleep environment, like having the room cooler, having the correct pillows and clean sheets, and no light in the room. So don't have all of these, neon lights and windows open, etc.
I
White noise.
bought this cable for my phone. I don't know if you can
Oh
see it.
yes, that's beautiful.
It literally strobes green.
I see it. Yes.
I I plugged it in. I'm Amish anyway. But I plugged it in and I was like, okay, yeah. So I'll have a cord so I could like, because my phone is not next to my bed. You don't want it to be like next to your fucking face while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
So at least then I could be able to find it in the middle of the night because I'll just follow. This cord is so bright. It's like a green fucking like disco ball going on in your brain.
Yeah.
And I just was like laughing. I plugged it in, I laid down, and I was like, bro, this isn't gonna work. This is not gonna work. Um, Yeah, clean sheets. There's just something about clean sheets. My dad always made fun of me when I was a kid because my blankets are all just like, and somehow I'm like always kicking and trying to figure out how do I get both my feet covered at the same time. And so sometimes it's just like that moment of like, all right, get out of bed and just make that sheet flat and then get back into bed. And it's so much nicer. Also, I yell at my dad because he's totally one of those that gets up in the middle of the night and like just can't go to sleep. First of all, the man tries to go to sleep at like 6 o'clock at night, and I'm like, Dad, you're not even tired yet. He's 4,000 years old. So it's like he's not exercising or putting in like a hard day at work. So he's not tired yet. But then he has this expectation that at 6 p.m., it's like night time. It's like, no wonder that you're waking up at midnight, 3 o'clock in the like you've already had a full like night's sleep. Um, and he will like, oh well, I got up, and I'm like, but what did you do? He's like, oh, I watched TV. Screen time, it really does something for your brain in having that awake time. And there are blue light blocking glasses. There is putting your phone or your TV, some like I don't own a TV, but if I did, there are other ones that have these like settings that you can block some of that blue light. But you really want to have like no screen time at least an hour before bed.
Yes.
Um, you stayed at my house. I have like a whole stack of Sudoku and like just boring puzzles and stuff next to my bed. That if you get up and you're just like, because I've been through some things in my life, and sometimes like I'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning myself and just be like, do you remember when that horrible thing happened to you and you didn't even have a phone to call 911 and then you were running and like all this stuff and it's like, well, I'm awake now. And
Yes.
so sometimes you do need a little something to soothe you, and whether that's reading a book or playing a stupid Sudoku. um, to go to sleep, you want to have good sleep hygiene. Like you don't want to turn on the phone and start checking notifications or watch the TV because it's just
Yeah, or look at work
sleep
email
hygiene.
or horror movie or something.
Yeah, the horror.
100%. You know,
Yeah,
you could even, set an alarm for yourself, whatever time that is. Let's say it's 8 o'clock, alarm goes off. Okay, it's time to start getting ready for bed. That means no touching the phone anymore, getting yourself ready, whether some people like to take a bath at night or have a cup of tea, read a book, whatever your jam is. It's about calming yourself, calming your nervous system, not doing things that might trigger you or get your mind too active. 100%. And then just relaxing and then taking your allergy pill and going, going right to sleep.
um, hate having the phone next to me.
Oh,
So many people know. So I'm a paid on call firefighter. I have a pager next to my bed. Sometimes it goes off when I want to be asleep. So there are times when I have to wake up and take action. But for the most part, my phone is on silent 24 hours a day. Unless I know somebody's going through something and I'm waiting for news, whenever I'll turn my ringer on. But for the most part, it's always on silent. So I don't want my phone like anywhere near me. There have been a lot of studies, depending on, how hippie you want to get about it. It's not really good to have your phone like next to your body at all times. So if you can charge it in another room because you're not going to be looking at it in the middle of the night, and then get a real alarm clock. I love the tick 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 of and in fact I took it out of the bedroom that you slept in when you came because it is loud and some people are like, ugh. But to have an actual alarm that I wind every night, and I just have faith that the alarm is going to go off. I don't have to worry about what if the
oh,
power goes out or whatever. To give yourself that time to sleep, also to know that you're not taking your little Benadryl when you only have 3 hours before work starts.
yeah.
So give yourself that time. And also, there are times when I don't know why my glasses are so crooked. Give yourself that time to sleep. Like I was so tired. I had a real late training and we were crawling around doing a bunch of crazy firefighter shit on Thursday night. So I got home, and even though I know that my little bunnies want to be cuddled and fed and all this stuff, I'm like, I know it's 9:30, but I'm gonna take a nap right now. And then I will take care of all the night stuff, like turning off lights and feeding the bunnies and doing all that stuff at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, which is what happened, and everybody was okay. Like sometimes you just have to go to sleep, and maybe it's like not the right time, but it's Saturday afternoon, and I'm like, I'm just not even ready to get into laundry time right now. Go take a
Yeah.
nap. Like really, sleep is at the core of self-care. If you're tired, go to sleep.
Yeah, 100%. And that's, I think, I know we spent a long time on this part, but for me, sleep was one of the number one contributors to my depression and low self esteem, or lack of sleep, I should say. As soon as I started getting regular sleep again, my whole life started turning around. I felt better. I was getting less sick. I was happier. I was more focused. I had the energy to get everything done that I needed to do. And so that's number one. Like, there's top three things, like sleep is in there.
Yeah, yeah, because if you don't get good sleep, your day's kind of shot. You're not really like sharp or with it. So you're going to be more apt to procrastinate or eat terrible food for you or,
Yes.
go through the drive-through or whatever it is. Like if you can get that sleep down, I mean, it is supposed to be like 30 your life. So,
Yeah. And you made a good point. I want to be my final point, eating too late and drinking. So
yeah.
if you can eat, I forget how many hours it's supposed to be, 4 or 6 hours before you go to bed, something crazy. Like, it gives your tummy time to digest if you can. Obviously, don't eat a ton of sugar right before bed, but alcohol.
Ruining my life right
I
now.
know, I know, I know. Baby steps, but so many people drink to go to bed at night, or have a glass of wine, or have a glass of brandy or whatever. And this is pretty common sense nowadays, but alcohol, converts to sugar, and so it actually disrupts your sleep. It may make you fall asleep fast right at the beginning, but you're going to wake up 2, 3, 4 in the morning as that sugar is processing through your system. So drinking
It's all
alcohol before you go to
depressant.
sleep, yeah.
And it also makes you pee in the middle of the night. So then you're not getting that good uninterrupted sleep.
Yeah,
So,
so not good. No bueno.
yeah,
But
not
all right,
good.
so shit that does work for us, Molly. What does work for us?
Um, sunshine. As somebody who lives well above the 38th parallel, sunshine does, and fresh air, and just being outside sometimes, pampering yourself and getting that good sleep. And even if it's like waking up, so I just started setting my alarm 10 minutes earlier. It's so exciting because like I can actually make myself like a full breakfast. First of all, I get up way earlier than I need to. But I'm one of these people like I want my day to be like ready. So I take a full bath while I'm watching, listening to podcasts or, watching a, 1940s horror B movie or whatever. Like I have had a day before I even get to work because I just don't want work to be my only thing that I do per day. That would be like really shitty. Um but yeah, so that kind of stuff, definitely have that slow morning. Also, you don't have any panic. Like
Yes.
there are people who one time, Danielle, this is an aside, I dumped a guy because his alarm, and he was a snoozer,
Oh,
hitting that snooze button. And like you don't get good sleep when you're snoozing. 5, 10 minutes, doesn't matter. You're not actually going back to sleep. So wake up when you need to wake up. And if you want to take a bath and, cook a whole breakfast and the stuff that I do, then you need that time for it. And
yeah.
if you're just one of those people that throws on a t-shirt and walks out the door, then like snooze is terrible. Anyway, this guy had his alarm, his uh whatever alarm clock in the morning was some like German World War II air raid siren with like tune and like all this shit and like
Yeah.
and he was a snoozer. Like, you really want to hear that every 5 minutes for an hour before you get your ass out of bed? Like
Oh,
you've
God.
just you've taken an hour of your time and just fucked off when you could have slept that whole hour and just get up when you need to get up. And it's part of discipline. And discipline really is this muscle that we form to be able to trust ourselves, like whether we're disciplined in how we eat or how we sleep. or we're disciplined in, our workload at work or however it is. Discipline and self-esteem really do kind of go hand in hand, I think.
Yeah, it's true, and it's hard work, but it has a lot of positive change. And then once you make it a habit, it's just part of your routine. So we talked so long about, getting a good night's sleep and setting yourself up at the end of the day. You brought up all these wonderful tips about how you also need to set yourself up at the start of your day. You don't,
Yeah.
if you wake up and you immediately go on social media or stress yourself out because you're running around the house, like, you've set yourself up already to be in a stressed out or maybe depressed or not
Yeah.
the best mood. Maybe you don't feel good about yourself. It is so important to get up so you can get all this stuff done. So something that I do for myself is exercise. I didn't used to exercise back in the day. I wish I had, but I'm doing it now. And
Yeah.
I
And
do.
you wake up at like 4 a.m.
It's a little later, 4:30 now. I had to give myself a little bit more
So
time.
you're really letting yourself go.
I know, but I have a lot of stuff to do in the morning. I got kids to get up and get to school. I got to get ready for work and all of this stuff. But I knew I had to incorporate exercise into my life because, for various reasons, to be healthy, to be able to move around, I was starting to fall apart, but also for my mental health. And it was an important thing. And I already knew I was too tired when I got home from work at the end of the day because I'm making dinner, helping kids with homework. I don't want to exercise. And although I'm not a morning person at all, I was like, damn it, I'm going to have to get up early and do this. Do I want to do it? I do. Okay, let me do it. And I do what I call my living room exercise. I got my little free weights from Target, my little hand weights. And I follow this lady on YouTube. And it's awesome. And it works for me because I am not a gym person. You couldn't pay me enough to go to a gym. So whatever works for you, but I make that time. I get up early, even though I hate it and I'm cussing at my alarm clock. I do that because I know all the positive benefits it's going to bring me. I also stopped having my phone next to me. I used to use my phone as my alarm clock also, and I moved it to another room and I got a Echo Dot and I use that as my alarm, and it's made a huge difference. And I'm not checking my phone. I'm not grabbing for it. I know it's somewhere far away, and that's helped my mental health as well.
Yeah.
And so that discipline, doing the hard things.
Yeah. And like with the exercise, if, working out in your underwear on the living room floor isn't your deal, you can join a hiking group. I had one when I lived in Los Angeles. It was fun. And honestly, when somebody else is telling us where to go and whatever, like I'll walk as far as you want me to walk as long as we're socializing. Like, so we would do 15 miles every Saturday.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah. And then you're socializing, you bring like a whole backpack full of oranges and everybody gets an orange and everyone's like, oh my God, yay. I also used to take Richard Simmons' class. Richard Simmons still had his Richard Simmons is maybe the greatest person alive on this planet. Just love him to bits.
But I think he passed away now.
I know he did pass away.
He was
So
the
sad.
greatest person.
Yeah, I took one of his very last classes. He had these dogs and he had one that died and it's a whole thing, but he was just like despondent. We're like, God, should we just go dance in front of his house? Like, it's Richard Simmons. Like, he's been there for us for so many years. Like, we want to be there for him. And so it's like you're exercising, but you're also having so much fun because he was so great at being like, I see that mayonnaise, and you would just be like working out in his class, or he would make like the hot guy do a plank while he would like get up underneath him and like dance. And like, it just was such a great, fun way to exercise. And like, he does have videos and they're really fun. And like, I mean, I'm probably the only person that still has a VCR, but there are like 80s workout tapes and DVDs that are so fun because they're so stupid. And whether it's like Tai Chi with, some weird person, or like there's one called Dancing Grannies, like they're just really fun.
Might be
And
good.
like, if you can entertain me, I'll do whatever you want me to do. I am not a gym person at all. So like workout videos are totally fun for me, or just like having people that you're accountable with. And like you said that you watched that girl on YouTube, and I know you sent it to me once, but I didn't have the discipline to watch it. But
No worries. But yeah, you find what you want. The lady I follow is Nourish Move Love. Again, no one's paying me for anything, but I love it. It has saved my life, and I love her videos. We have a comment here from Hank Attack 89. He says, music helps my mental state. Absolutely.
Totally. Yeah.
Music is the number one healer of all the things, right?
Yeah.
Music has saved me and Molly's lives, our whole life, from the death rock dance clubs to today. But movement. So we have all of this exercise and stuff is movement. You can also just put
Yeah, even like dancing in your living room.
yes, put music on in your house. Have a half-hour dance party.
Yeah.
And
What's
especially
your go-to?
if
What do you
especially
want to dance to?
kids. Oh my gosh, I put on the old '80s death rock hits. That's what I
Yeah.
love because it's like how I was in the club. It reminds
I
me of
know,
dancing in
dude.
the club. When
Skinny Puppy. That's
yes.
how you can find out if I'm dead. If you think I'm dead, you just put on Skinny Puppy, probably like Warlock, and like then it's like, yeah, I knew she was faking it because look at her, she's up.
So Hank Attack says, Molly, you still owe me the records. I don't know what
I
that means.
do. I do. They're right here. They're right here. I put them in a pile and then I had some like antique in front of it that I sold on Marketplace and it was a whole thing. But now I'm looking at them. They're right there. Yeah, so okay, so we were talking about shit that does work for you, and I think this is like a really good list because definitely music. And you know what I would even say is like if you want to be in a bad mood, be in a bad mood. Put on The Cure Disintegration and just live it, Um, and because you don't, did you ever read Philip K. Dick do Electric Sheep, do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep?
Oh, I know the
He
book.
had like that mood organ, and his
Yeah.
wife was like always like, "Why don't you just turn the mood organ to happy?" Like maybe I fucking don't want to be happy, okay? Um, so if you set your mood with your music, you don't have to always listen to crazy stuff. I would recommend some Chick Webb, Woody Herman, some like big band kind of 30s music. That just always makes me feel like there's all this hope in the world. Or then you just turn on Skinny Puppy and you're like, yeah, like it's just.
Oh yeah, I have in my car. I have playlists for my different moods. So I have a crying playlist. So when I want to be sad and cry, I listen to The Cure and Cocteau Twins and all that. And when I want to, dance, I listen to a lot of like 80s and 90s hip hop. I have a classical playlist when I just want to zone out. Like I have all of it. And so yeah, allow yourself. It's about not letting yourself stay in the sad forever. Let yourself feel the feels and then, you know, pull yourself out of it and listen to some
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah. We had a lot more things to help you pull yourself out of it, things that do work for us. And I just had this one picture. Okay, I was dating an idiot. This is basically where all my stories start. And I came over to his house and I was wearing this dress. And it was like this real ugly 60s, 70s psychedelic paisley monstrosity, which somebody is selling on eBay this very week. And I don't know that it's my dress, but this fucking dress.
Oh,
Yeah, there's been better dresses invented. But I mean, I always have a little bit of a sense of humor with the way I dress. And I was wearing this dress, and he was like, "You're going to wear that?" And I was like, I am going to wear this for every single date that we have until you begin to appreciate it as much as I do. Because I feel really great in this dress. It had pockets. Anyway, so the maker of this dress, I actually found two of them at thrift stores. This one and some other like pink and green crazy other dress, and by the same maker, Yves Genet, whoever the hell that was. And it became this running joke with my friend Claudia and I, like, okay, are we gonna do something this weekend? Yeah. Are you gonna wear Yves Genet? Like it just became this whole thing of like, yeah, I'm gonna wear the ugly dress and it's gonna make me feel great. So like dress for you. Like obviously there are some, situations that are, you have to be work appropriate or you need to be able to be flexible for crawling around under a fire truck or whatever the case may be. But when you can, like really just like dress for you, be for you, do everything. Wear the Yves Genet. So it's so funny because I looked it up online and I saw that dress and it was like it just brought me back to like standing in the front door of his grandma's house because he was living with his grandma, and he was like, "Are you gonna wear that?" I'm like, "Fuck yes, I'm gonna wear it." Um, and also deep cleaning. Like there's just something like visually really nice about seeing a clean countertop or like that sock drawer where they're like tallest to shortest or
Yes.
whatever like is your jam. Organization and cleaning is really nurturing and it's really good like self-care. I just did my sock drawer the other day and it was like brimming over. You know, I collect all kinds of asshole socks. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get rid of 5 pairs of socks because this is out of control. There's a lot that I don't wear because they slouch down or they just don't make me feel great or they don't, you know, whatever. And I actually got rid of 11 pairs of socks. And I felt pretty fucking good about myself.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Rod made a comment, dress for success. When you look good, you're naturally going to feel good. So I know this is later in our notes, but I'm going to jump in now about dressing and feeling good in what you're wearing because it speaks to the sock drawer thing too. I feel like there's so many people out there that save clothes because maybe they were expensive or they had good memories tied to them, but they don't really wear them that often for various reasons. Either they just don't like it anymore, it doesn't fit them, they don't look good in it. And I used to be that way. And I did a big purge years and years ago of taking all the clothes. I took all of the clothes out of my closet, all billions of them, emptied all of my drawers out all over the bed. It looked horrific. And I did that because I was like, I'm going to finish this or I'm not going to be able to go to sleep tonight. And I went through every single thing. And I even tried stuff on. It took me a whole weekend. It took me 2 full days. And I got rid of like 4 trash bags of clothes. And there was a lot of clothes I loved, but I only kept the clothes I loved wearing. Like stuff that I wore all the time, stuff I looked good in, I felt good in, all of that. And I just kept that stuff. And yeah, it was sad to lose some of those cool pieces. And a lot of it was vintage clothing. But afterwards, I was like, this is my beautiful closet where everything I'm going to wear makes me feel good. And I started dressing fancier. So I get comments on what I wear all the time, and it's because I dress to the nines every day, and like I'm going to a party or something. Because why the fuck not? You know,
Yeah.
I'll occasionally have a jeans and t-shirt day, but I'm gonna dress to impress every single day because why? And I could die tomorrow. I might as well wear my nice clothes. Just like don't save your good china for Thanksgiving. Eat on the good china every day. Wear your pretty dresses or your nice pants or your cool sneakers. I know a lot of dudes have like sneaker fetishes or whatever, like wear them out, don't just look at them.
Yeah.
Dress nice every day. And then it kind of goes into, you had a comment in the notes about throw away the old holy underwear. You know, I used to wear like the old, you know, like bargain Target underwear and have them. And I know a lot of dudes out there, you're wearing old holy underwears out there.
If a girl can't open your drawer and pull it out and hold it in front of you, it needs to go.
Yes. And so this was also years ago. I took all of it, tossed all of it, and I went and bought myself some reasonably priced lingerie. Another company I like, This Whole Inspire. It's a woman-owned company. They have really pretty lingerie, and it's very comfortable, and it's from all the sizes, from itty bitty to bold and beautiful. And I bought a ton of lingerie for myself, and I wear it every day. And it makes me feel so good and sexy. And I'm so excited when I go in my underwear drawer to pick out, you know, the undergarments for the day. I'm never like, I guess I'll wear this. You know, it's like, go ahead and treat yourself.
Yeah.
Wear the nice stuff. Be comfortable, be confident. And yeah, you never know when someone's gonna see what you have underneath your clothes. You want to be ready to go. Yeah. Yeah. You could be taken away in an ambulance. You don't want them to see your holy Target underwear. Yeah.
I think that's when I got really crazy about the socks that I was wearing was when I became a cop. One, because you're very kind of intimidating to kids because you've got this uniform on and you come into their house and you're ordering their parents around or whatever. And it's like, if I can just lift my pant leg and show you that I'm wearing silly socks, like it really was able to make little kids feel like safer with me. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I started collecting crazy socks and it just got out of control, like really out of control. I have a whole box of socks that aren't in the sock drawer. That's
Oh
also,
man. All right,
yeah,
you may need a whole dresser for the socks.
dude, you're not kidding. Um, yeah, even like talking about socks, like squishy socks, like really comfy, cozy socks that you can wear at home. It's just like another way to like pamper yourself and make you feel like happy. And like fresh sheets. I think that really just does renew, like especially like after you've had the flu or something. It's been a long time since I've been sick, but if you get into a clean bed, like feeling all clean and warm and snuggly and everything is like comfortable and your pajamas are cozy and you've got these great squishy socks on, like how much better could you feel about life? It's like such a nice place to be.
It is. It is. It is a beautiful place to be. I know we went on like a billion different
Rants, yeah.
here. I know, trying to get us back on track. Let's see. Procrastination. So getting shit accomplished, creating a to-do list.
Yeah, so there's this book and you can get an audiobook called Zen to Done. And it really is cool because it kind of tells you about like how to do a to-do list. And they talk about the difference, like you were saying, Danielle, with writing versus having it on your phone and deleting. And it
Yes.
actually, like most brains still want to have that um, satisfaction of crossing it off on the list rather than deleting it off the list. There's more of a sense of accomplishment when
Oh
you're done with the
yeah.
list.
I love that.
And so, also, what I would say is, because we had a firefighter that was going through some shit, he had a lot of worries and woes and everything. And this really helped him. I said, put a paper and pen by the side of the bed, even like a big Sharpie, where you don't even have to look at what you're writing. You know that it's on the paper. You don't have to turn a light on. You can just write. Because a lot of times when you're sitting in bed and you're just like, fuck, I can't forget that I've got to get an oil change, whatever it is. And it's like to just reach over and grab that pen and write oil change, even though it might be going like whatever which way, to be able to let go of that worry or that fear helps you sleep better. So to have that list of things, and do you remember? Did you ever have those like little worry dolls when you were a kid?
I,
That you just like,
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't have them. Yeah.
yeah, the little Guatemalan worry dolls, and you'd be like, I'm worried about this or whatever, and then you would kiss it and you put it under your pillow, and like supposedly they would like take care of your worries at night. Like get a list, because then you don't have to put all these things in your head. A to-do list, and have it triaged. So what I say is have things in three categories, and that is the shit that absolutely has to be done today. I have to pay that bill before it's due tomorrow, whatever. And so that list is going to be pretty small. And then you're going to have a list of like shit I would like to get done today, this week, whatever. So the list that is for today should be totally doable. I have to, take out the trash. I have to do this, whatever. And then the stuff that you'd like to get done. So all of that secondary stuff is like bonus. So it makes you feel really good about like tackling it because it wasn't even on the list for today. So you can feel like, oh, I got a couple things done on the like, I'd like to do list. And that can be for, do laundry, whatever. You don't have to do it today, but it does need to get done. And then you're gonna have a third list, which is just like that someday shit or the shit that's like waiting for something. I need to get this in the mail so that I can then do this.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that you can't possibly do today, or maybe you can, but that stuff will, and you want to reassess it so that that stuff makes it to that secondary list, and that really helps you focus. And what Zen to Done says is if whatever it is that you're putting on the list takes less than 5 minutes to do, that doesn't even make the list. Just do it right this second. Do it right now. I have to, send a birthday email to my cousin. Cool. Just do it right now because then that's less things to have to like clog up your to-do list, which makes you feel like, oh God, I have so much to do. Yeah, that book Zen to Done was really, really just awesome because it really explained to-do lists and helps you be more productive with the time that you have. Also get a timer. Did you get a timer?
I have it.
You did. And oh, that one's pretty.
And look, it's a little star with a rainbow.
Oh, that's cute.
It's
Yeah,
so
so like make a game of it and say, okay, look, my house is totally dog shit right now. I'm gonna clean for 15 minutes and I'm gonna concentrate all my effort in the kitchen because it's the place I see the most, let's say. And so you make a thing out of it. Like, okay, if your crush or if your mom like came in 15 minutes and she was gonna look at your kitchen, what's it gonna look like? So you set your timer for 15 minutes and then you just start really like tackling it. You'll work harder knowing that you have this like timeline and it'll like
yes.
motivate you to maybe do more in that time, but also to keep you focused so that you're ignoring the notifications on your phone or distractions and
I
to really have.
I kind of find a timer helps me for doing the kind of the non-productive stuff. So I can get very overwhelmed. So sometimes I want to just like zone out or, go online, play a puzzle, do something, but I tend to do it for too long and I'll lose track of time. So it's like, okay, I'm trying to get all this stuff done, but I want a break. I'm going to give myself 15 minutes to watch something stupid on TV and I'll set the timer and that stops me from like, oh, it's been 2 hours and I'm still sitting here.
Doom scrolling.
Yes, yes.
That is funny. Yeah, you could totally use it to have that break time. Okay, break's over. Get
Yes.
back, get up to it.
To work.
Sure. And then you set your time for whatever, but I would say like no longer than 15 minutes. And if you have to set the timer again for another 10 minutes or go in another room and set the timer again to have too much time. Okay, I'm going to set my timer for 4 hours and let me see if I can get my house cleaned in 4 hours. Like, bro, I'm going to be sitting down doom scrolling. Procrastination is heavy with this one.
Yes.
Book Zen to Done really did help me.
That's
And
awesome.
but also Duolingo, I did want to talk about. I don't know how, did I just join it and then you were on it, or did you tell me about it?
I think separately we were just both on it because I've been on Duolingo for years learning Espanol. Hola,
Espanol.
hola, ¿cómo estás? Yes. And you had told me you were on there as well, and then we became friends. And I friggin' love Duolingo. Something
Yeah.
that you're improving yourself, you're learning a new language, you feel good about yourself, and so much
It's
more
fun
productive.
too. It's
Yeah.
I got my nephew into it because of course he's a young boy and he wants to be on like video games all the time.
Yes.
And so now I can like do, and so for everyone it's Duolingo and it's a free app. You don't have to pay for shit and you can learn like any language you want. I started with Russian. It's from outer space. So I decided to shift my attention to Japanese and I've been doing Japanese for.
Oh, cool. I started with Romanian. Bună ziua. Yes. And because I learned Romanian in college and then it got really difficult and I didn't have anyone to practice it with. So I moved to Spanish so I could relearn Spanish from when I spoke it as a kid. So that's fun. And yeah, more people to practice Spanish with than
Yeah. And
Romanian.
Duolingo's fun because you can find people that you know on there and you can have challenges with them where you guys are trying to work together to like get a certain amount of points and it gives you all these, it's like total dopamine hit and it gives you all this extra you know things that you can earn, these that you did this many
Yes.
lessons at night or you did an extra hard lesson or you unlocked this level and that level. So it really is like fun, but you're also like tackling something. It's a good way to build self-esteem because it's like, oh well, my whole life is shit, but I can go on Duolingo and get to the next level or challenge my friend to something and we can do a little challenge.
Yeah. And they say just doing 15 minutes a day on there, you can learn a new language in X amount of years. And that's nothing. And even if you were to sit there and think like, I don't want to see her for 15 minutes, how long do you spend sitting on Facebook or Instagram or some social media app? You easily spend an hour to 2 hours, sometimes people 3 hours, 4 hours a day, and you're not learning anything. You're not making your life any better. Maybe you have a few laughs in there, but literally take 15 minutes. Maybe you can even make it as a reward. Like, I want to sit on Instagram for 15 minutes. Well, I have to do 15 minutes of Duolingo first. then I can,
Yeah.
have my fuck off
I
time.
usually do it when the bath is like filling or whatever.
Oh,
But
yeah.
accomplishing shit is really like how you start to be able to trust yourself in a way, like changing the tire. So if you can accomplish learning this new language, and also you can like toggle, because I was learning Russian and then Japanese. I think there's another one on there. There's like Klingon. I mean, you could like learn shit that like nobody needs to
Oh,
learn. Um, and but you are accomplishing something with your
yes.
day, and it also is fun and it's totally free. And even my 2016 Galaxy J7 Prime Amish phone can download that stupid thing. And so yeah, in accomplishment, it's like a muscle. Like the harder you work it, the stronger it is. And
Yes.
so that really is like what self-esteem is like the more that you can work that muscle of taking care of yourself and also pushing yourself and knowing and having that balance of trying to achieve more, which is setting all kinds of goals, not just like, okay, my goal is to clean the kitchen today. If that's all the energy that you have today, if that's your 100%, you gave 100%. So like really be excited about doing stuff, because it if that's all you have is like I'm going through some shit or I have the flu or food poisoning or whatever, and all I can do is just take a bath and change my pillowcase and go back to bed, like you've accomplished as much as you possibly could. So give yourself a break when you need to, but also push yourself with challenges, whether it's
Yeah.
physically, or with Duolingo, like learning a new language or solving a puzzle or
Yeah.
making new friends, going out, make yourself socialize by involving yourself in some kind of hobby that you want.
Yeah.
Um,
We have a comment from Rod. He says Jordan Peterson has a whole philosophy about making your bed every morning because it helps you be disciplined. So you start your day literally already being productive. And it's just a simple little thing.
yeah, I'm one of those people that had like 43 blankets. And so then I went to like one big fat duvet, is that what you call it?
Yes.
So that it's a lot easier to make my bed, because otherwise I have just like a puzzle of different layers. Um, so yeah, I guess you could do it that way. I don't know that I make my bed every day, but I guess like if you have animals that jump on the bed, you should probably make your bed every day because you don't want their butthole where your face goes.
Maybe you do. What about your bracelets? Talk about these bracelets.
Oh yeah, so I love that you're wearing yours. That's so cute. I'm so with accomplishments, I made these bracelets and I made mine gold. I don't know.
Oh, I gotta find the
And
camera.
so I start off, I have, well, I guess I could do it. That's so cute that you have yours on. I made Danielle some bracelets. So I start off my day, and this looks like a lot of bracelets. You could make as many as you want, as little as you want, whatever. And it doesn't have to be bracelets. But think about this concept and then work it towards your way, whether you have rocks in a jar and they go to another jar. But I love doing it this way because everywhere I go, they're with me. So if I have a blue one, if I drink water, which I'm wanting to drink more water, I earn or I put it on the other wrist. If I eat something healthy, I get a green one. If I say no to sugar, then I get to earn a white one. And so you can make them however you want. You could use rocks in a pocket or chip tokens in a pocket that you move over to the other pocket if you're a guy. I mean, there's so many ways that you can do it. But I really love the physicality and the excitement of being able to move them over. And then, like all day, I can see like what my progress is, um, based off of just looking down. It's like right there. And but you can make them for everything. It doesn't have to be for for my goals or my goals. If your goal is to say hello or give somebody a compliment, you could earn something. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, like, oh, I want to work out for 30 minutes, and so I'll give myself three of them for 10 minutes each one, and I only earned 2 today, but maybe tomorrow I'll earn all 3. And maybe if I earn all of them, then I can do this for myself.
Yes.
It's just sort of like a reward system and just a little like perk and a pick me up. And it's amazing. When I used to teach lie detection and stuff for LAPD, we would have these like contests of asking people about Miranda or your Fourth Amendment or this or that, and it's like it's kind of like dry stuff. And so you'd be amazed at like earning a tiny little stupid candy would get people so engaged. And it's like if you can earn something little, and like this really is, it doesn't. I mean, I bought the beads, but it doesn't. It's not like, oh, I'm buying myself a brand new car if I drink a glass of water today. um, so implementing a system like that also can really like help your self-esteem because you get excited about like, okay, what else can I earn today? Oh, okay, yeah, actually I did say no to sugar earlier or whatever. And every time you look down, it's just you literally have a visual representation of how
Yes.
awesome you are and how dedicated you are to your goals. So I made them for Danielle, and your goals are different than mine, but I think it's fun. And it's also, I don't know, if you and your friends are all doing it, then you could kind of look at the other girl's wrist and just be like, oh, you really did a lot today. Good for you. So I think that that's neat. Also, I wanted to just say repetitive. So when you're doing all your to do stuff, if you don't have that much like oomph today, that maybe just put it in your little brain. But if you have those repetitive tasks that aren't very satisfying, no matter how much laundry you do, you're still going to have laundry tomorrow. No matter how many dishes you do, you're still going to have dishes tomorrow. So if you want to just take that bit of energy that you have and say, I'm going to do something that's going to last a couple of days because I want to be able to see the effects of it or feel great and not have it be something like, making your bed every day. Tomorrow it's messy again. So you might want to focus if you have a limited ability to, handle shit, to do something fun and do something different and don't just like think of the doldrums of like laundry and dishes that are they're waiting for you.
Yeah.
So maybe just do something different, like the sock drawer. Like honestly, I open my sock drawer and it's like it like sings and like light comes out between them. It's kind of nice.
Um,
Um, Also to like take time, just like lay on the floor with your pets and let them, jump all over you is really just a nice little time to have. I have bunnies and they're so funny and they jump on my back and I'm like, I don't know what you guys are doing up there, like playing King of the Hill or something. Um, but that's just a nice time to just like be with a pet. Or if you don't have any pets, like I have a lot of house plants. I love plants. And if you're new to plants, I would say a great starter plant for you would be a peace lily. They're pretty easy to take care of. And every once in a while, you get rewarded with this like beautiful little flower that pops up and it lasts a couple of days and then it goes. Peace lilies are also really great for cleaning the air in your space. So you could have it somewhere like near your bed is really nice. And they're pretty easy to take care of in terms of plants. And they're also really just like so green and so pretty. Spider plants also very good at cleaning the air, very easy to take care of. And they
yes.
make little babies, so then you can like give plants to your friends too.
Yeah. Snake plants are super easy to take care of as well.
I think I water them too much. My snake plant is not as happy, but they're very good at cleaning the air.
Oh, well, I have a huge one. I love plants. I just don't have the best green thumb, but my snake plant is flourishing. So whatever I'm doing, probably
I
because
feel like plants are just like with the care that I am willing to give my plants or the care that you're willing to give your plants, like we might have different kinds of plants because I
that's true.
will water them like too much or too often, or my light situation is different than your light. So I do have a nice snake plant, but to be fair, I think I bought it nice and I've just sort of kept it alive from where I got it from. It hasn't been thriving.
Oh, yes. But I love this concept of having something to take care of. Because, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe you don't have kids or you don't have pets, plants, you can even get a little goldfish, something that, you tend to. It could be a lot of different things. That gives you a sense of accomplishment. It gives you something to look forward to in the day. Um, oftentimes when my anxiety is super high and I start to spiral in my head, a lovely exercise I have learned to do is to write down the stuff I have to do just in that day and just focus on the one task. Oh, okay, I have to fold laundry right now. I don't have to worry about anything else but folding laundry for the next 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just force my brain to just focus on the task. Okay, what's the next thing to do? What's the next thing to do? And that has helped me a ton. And so when you have all of these things kind of planned in your day, like, oh, I get up and exercise now for 10 minutes, or I take my bath. Oh, this is when I water my plants. This is when I do this. It's just so beneficial on so many levels to help not only with your anxiety and your self-esteem. You have stuff to look forward to. You're productive. And yay. And if you're having an off day, it's okay if you want to.
Yeah, you can even like have a little reward too, by saying, okay, well, when I do these, then I'm going to be able to take a nice bath afterwards. Like,
Yes,
okay, if I get sweaty vacuuming, then I'll have a bath and I'll put my little green food coloring in there and just like
I'm
have a good
excited.
time.
I can't wait to try the food coloring thing.
It is nice. And yeah, just the regular stuff, not the gel, just the regular like
Oh,
teardrop old
here's
school
old
stuff.
school, old school.
Hmm.
All
And
right.
just a couple, and you can learn color theory too. Like, oh, what happens if I do this, that, the other? Or to cook something really nourishing. I love my crock pot, and it's so great because it's just me. So I am a creature of habit. I make this great soup or stew or whatever, and then like you have food for days, with just an hour of chopping and throwing it in. And it's
Yes.
like, healthy, and you feel like you've got something warm and nourishing. It's another like good way for self-care.
Yeah.
And
Food prep's a good one. I'm horrible at it. I've tried so many times to do it. The few times I have done it in my life, I will say it makes me feel really good. And it's less stress and less anxiety for the week because, like you said, you have lunches
yeah, you can
prepared.
just grab, you get the little, not Tupperware, but the glass ones, whatever works
Yeah.
for you.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. Next on our list is saying no.
yeah, so that really is like part of self-esteem, is to be able to say no. And
Boundaries. Yes.
yeah, and sometimes you just have too much stuff going on to be able to go to that party, and it's like, God, I really want to, but I know that I'm just going to feel like crap coming home from the party when I haven't gotten stuff done. And I think, I don't know, I feel like I have friends that are just like, you always have stuff to do, but it honestly is true. Like, I have a very long to-do list, and I think I do get a lot of stuff done, but um, to be able to say no to that extra project at work, or to that guy who you're like, I don't really want to go out with him, like, then don't. Like, be authentic to yourself, and if you're struggling with like not feeling great about life, saying no is one of the most like powerful things you can do, because you're like, I'm going to be an advocate for me, and I am not taking on this extra project at work, or I am not agreeing to overtime, or I'm not going to do whatever, go on some fool's errand with your friends that are want to start a book club, and you're like, I just don't even have the time for that. So like, say no, but also be excited when you say no, because that really comes from a place of advocating for yourself, and that is a sign of self-esteem. That means that you're doing something right when you can say no to people.
It is. It is. I recently read this lovely article that talked about, unless it's a major emergency, someone's asking for your help on. If anyone asks you to do something, go somewhere, help with whatever, give yourself 24 hours to give an answer. Say, okay, thanks for the offer or opportunity. I'll let you know tomorrow. And if they push you to say, well, I need an answer right now, then you can tell them, well, I'm sorry, but the answer is no. And give yourself 24 hours to really see, do I have the time? Do I have the energy? Do I even want to do this thing? And not saying yes just because you're like, well, I don't want them to be mad at me, or I want them to like me. Like, yeah, you have to stop doing that. I've done it
Yeah.
too many years, and I was taking away time from myself to do stuff that I needed to do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised that, especially like if you're trying to negotiate something, saying no is like, it's basically the easiest word in the world. I don't know why it's so hard for us to say it, but
Yeah.
that actually puts you in a better place of negotiation. I remember I was working Hollywood division for LAPD and I wasn't having a good time of it. Randy and I could tell you the whole story sometime. But they called me and they said, we want to know if you want to do this, get loaned to another division for the holidays. And I was like, I don't know why they want me to even consider this. I want to be able to ask somebody, like, what should I do?
Mm.
Um, and so I said, well, it's the holidays, everything. So I got to find out, with my family, like what we're going to be doing for the holidays. Can I call you back? No, I need to know right now. Okay, then the answer is no. And then all of a sudden, they were put in this position of like, okay, but I can sweeten the pot by doing this, or like, okay, can you please call me back later? Like, no can put you in a really powerful position to be able to, even like I've been selling all this stuff on stupid Facebook Marketplace. Fuck my life, seriously. And these people will say, okay, but will you take 25 cents off the price and drive it 700 miles and also deliver it in a clown suit and like all this shit? And it's just like, no, I won't. No. And I don't care if the thing never sells. Like, it's so much better than having to like take less
Mhm.
to settle for this, that, or the other. I remember there were so many times where like a guy would ask me on a date like Friday night at 11 o'clock at night, like, oh, I'm sorry that your early date dumped you and that you're now on the sidewalk alone and want to know if I'm sitting by the door with my purse in my hand. But no, I want somebody who thinks about me before 11 o'clock on a Friday night. No is a really great word for self-esteem, to say no to things.
Yes.
Can't recommend it enough.
100%. I need to learn to say no more often. Next on our list of streamline your life, we talked about a lot of this already. So a lot about clearing the clutter from your home, also from your life, in terms of clearing out toxic people or activities you do that you don't even really want to do anymore.
Yeah, I think I was telling you there was this super nice old man, and I play a lot of board games, and he has a whole household of people that he lives with, but he needed a ride to game night every Tuesday night. And somehow, friends of the friendless here, I was picking him up and taking him home every Tuesday. And he's like, okay, great. Are you going to pick me up? Are you going to pick me up? Are you going to pick me up? And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, like I like to play games and I liked that he gets to go play games. But 1/7 of my life is spent doing this, playing games and giving this man a ride. And it just got to the point where I was like, I can't go. Like, I got other stuff to do. Like, 1/7 of my life to play board games. Like, this isn't working for me. And that story goes deeper. But anyway, yeah, to really look at your obligations. Like, do you really need to go to Richard Simmons' class if it's X amount of, miles away and you don't really get a sweat on and whatever? Like, really decide what you want in your life.
Yeah,
People say no.
it's really taking the time to look at how you spend your time. What do I do? Obviously, most of us have to work unless we're independently wealthy. But for those of us that do have to have jobs and clean our own houses and stuff, outside of that, you have such limited amount of time to yourself. How are you spending it? Are you spending it with people you love, with your kids or your family or your friends? Are you doing activities? And to your point, Molly, maybe you start doing an activity with a group of people that after a while you're like, I'm not really enjoying myself anymore, or I'm not liking this. Don't feel obligated to stay because of other people's hurt feelings. Just say, hey, I want to do something else with my time now.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and negative people. Like if it's not working for you, isn't there's that Einstein quote, like stay away from negative people. They have a problem for every solution.
That's funny. That's true. I think that's how we might have to do a whole episode on that. This is I found for myself, but a lot of people, it's very difficult to remove people from your life that you love or care about, but they're not a positive influence on you. And that could be a family member, could be a friend, a coworker, etc. Is somebody that maybe you have to continue to interact with, could be a coworker or
Yeah,
family member, setting up
I think you can turn
boundaries.
them around though. There have been times when you've said something really negative about yourself, and I have stopped you dead in your tracks and said, I don't want you to say it that way. What if
Yes.
you said it like this? And I think that can be really helpful because, like, if you're in this like negative space, if I can just like tweak it a little bit and tell you that it's not really how you're saying it and that you're not being fair to yourself by saying it that way. I mean, I'm not, they say, don't say anything bad about yourself because yourself is hearing or whatever the fucking saying is. I don't know. Um, I'm maybe one of the most self-deprecating people on this planet, but I think there's a lot of, I don't know, humor to it too. But I think I do catch other people saying negative things, and I'm like, you're not saying it in a place of being funny. You're saying it in like a bad place, and I don't want you to be in
Yeah.
that bad place. One, because I just think you're one of the most amazing people ever, but you give yourself a short stick sometimes.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's to me that's two different things. So having people in your life that are having a rough time or they're primarily negative, having a positive influence on them, absolutely. And that person has to want to change and move forward versus there's people in your life that are just no matter what you do or say, they always look at the negative. They wallow in self-pity a lot. They're always complaining. Um, Sometimes you have to decide when it's time to walk away from those people, wish them well. And that can also have a massive benefit on your life and help
Mm-hmm.
your self esteem, anxiety, all of that jazz. So, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think we've talked about it too. Like you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Oh, yes,
Yeah, so you like really want to be careful about who you're spending your life with. If
absolutely. That brings us to our last tip here is finding your tribe. And yeah, look at your friends group. You had shared that with me before about like you're the average of your closest 5 friends, and I thought, let me think about who are the like 5 people that I hang out with the most. Are these people that are successful, positive, doing stuff, living, are being authentic, living their life goals and core values? And I was happy to say I could say yes to all of that. But it made me think about the kind of fringe friends that I have that aren't that, and why am I giving them my space and time? I really do want to be surrounded by people are that I admire and that are building me up and helping me feel positive about myself.
Yeah, but socializing also is it's good for us. Um,
Yes, you need a tribe. You can't
yeah,
do it
you
alone.
need a tribe.
That's
Yeah, you need a tribe. It's just like I would fully recommend board games. I think that nerds are the greatest people on this planet. They're
they are.
so accommodating and just and interesting, and they want their brain to move. Like board games are great, and you can find like board game parties. I don't know. Do you guys have meetup in your area?
Oh yeah,
It's
I'm
really
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have much meetup here, but meetup in LA was like huge. Whatever you want to do is there. It's a great place to find your tribe of people who want to do the kind of things that you want to do. And for me, it's like board games. It's the easiest way to walk into a room and just be like, "Hi, let's play a game." You have something that you're doing together, and whether it's, competitive or cooperative, like you can really learn a lot about different people and make friends doing board games. I love gaming. But I love my nerds.
Yes, I
Um,
do as well. But yeah, meetup is great. So for those of you out there that are like, I don't really have a whole lot of friends, there's a whole world of people out there just like you, and you can go on to apps or meetup. I'm sure there's other places too to find people that are into the stuff you're into. Maybe it's
yeah,
crocheting, maybe it's dirt bike riding or thrift shopping, and you can find a group. Oh, every Saturday we go hiking, whatever it is. You can learn to meet people through there as friends,
yeah.
to
Or
find your
take like a cooking class and learn something that gives you a sense of accomplishment at the end, or a woodworking class. So I'm at the fire department. This lady calls in and she's like, I want to get a burn permit. I want to burn, like, my ex left all this stuff at my house, I guess like wood. And she's like, I want permission to burn it. Like, first of all, you don't want to burn 2x4s and stuff. It's treated with things that you don't want to inhale. But like, why not go take a woodworking class and like learn how to build a bench that you could make out with your next boyfriend on. Like it's just like, and she was like, that sounds so great. Like, yeah, turn that wood into something better.
I
Um,
love it.
yeah, and so something that gives you a sense of accomplishment or helps you connect with other people that like the same stuff you do, whether it's like nature photography or whatever.
Yes.
There's so many opportunities to grow and socialize at the same. Like I'm such a social person. Like whatever you want to do, like if we're socializing, you could get me to do anything really. But and also just be around supportive people. And
Hmm.
if that's other people that are also learning that skill, then that's like kind of a cool place to be where you guys are both struggling together, where you're learning
Yeah.
pasta or whatever.
Yeah, there's most cities have community centers. I get like a weekly or monthly newsletter from the community center, and it's not just for adolescents or youth. There's a lot of adult classes that they offer, from swimming to dance to, macrame, whatever your flavor. But yes, yay!
And also, I also wanted to say, like, when you're doing these accomplishments, because now we're in this like social media generation where everybody's like posting their everything, you want to be really careful about posting your accomplishments on the internet because it was for somebody with low self-esteem, it could end up making you get that self-esteem from likes, clicks, this, that,
Mhm.
the other. Like, oh, I did this great thing and I put it online and like only two people liked it. So it can be bad for people with low self-esteem to be putting their accomplishments out on the internet because then you start validating yourself based off of how many other people validated you. And that's not what self-esteem is. It's good
Yes.
enough that I made this or I did this. And I did want to tell one stupid story. I know we're wrapping up.
Okay.
Um, but I think to me, when I think about self-esteem, I think about this story. I was working at this shitty Hollywood nightclub and I was working the coat check. And so basically from my little window, I could see everybody in the club. And there were two girls that I just kept toggling back and forth to that I will never forget for the rest of my life. So I want to leave you with this image. One of them was this gorgeous girl, so beautiful. And she is standing at the bar and she is like perfectly poised, holding her wine and kind of looking down her nose at the rest of the club. And nobody is talking to her. Beautiful. If you would look at this girl, you'd be like, damn, I wish I looked like her. She's so pretty. And she was dressed all nice and she was very like thin and everything. And she had this wine. And she's standing there not talking to anybody. Not 30 feet away from her on the dance floor is the fattest, sweatiest girl you've ever seen in your life who lost her shoes probably 2 hours ago. And she is dancing like crazy with these two gay guys. And they're having the greatest time. And she is so into it. And she is so sweaty. And she doesn't give a shit about what she looks like. She is having the greatest time. And the girl at the bar is looking at the sweaty girl and the girl at the bar wishes she was the sweaty girl. And the sweaty girl has absolutely no knowledge that this girl at the bar exists. And if you can be that sweaty girl where you're just like, I don't even care. My shoes are off. I'm dancing. I'm making friends. Like, I am in the moment. I am in my life. Life is good. You will have those people that, for all intents and purposes, like seem like somebody you wish that you could be like. Look at this beautiful
Yeah.
girl. That girl is alone and she's drinking her wine by herself and she's just looking at this sweaty girl. It was so amazing to watch the two girls because one was so hyper aware that the other one existed and the other one had no idea that the hot girl existed. And it's like, just be you. And maybe you're not the perfectly poised girl at the bar with the wine, but that's what makes people jealous of you. Like personally, I am fascinated when people have to tear me down because it says so much more about like who they are.
Yeah.
Um, because like I'm just being me, and like clearly I don't try to be anything other than unapologetic Molly. And like sometimes that really makes the girl at the bar upset. And like that's when you know like you're being super authentic to yourself. And like there is jealousy from people that on paper you would trade with, that you're just you. And
Yeah.
that's enough. Like it's so amazing that you can just be yourself. And no bug collectors, please.
Yeah.
But like,
No, that's an amazing story. And I didn't really touch much on this FOMO, which was something else in our notes. We had so much to talk about today.
I
So I'll
know.
touch on that for a second before we wrap up.
Yeah,
Because this is exactly ties into your story and social media. You had said earlier how be careful of posting all your accomplishments and getting really fixated on the validation you get from people liking the stuff you're doing. But on the other hand, there's so many of us that go to social media and we envy other people's lives. Oh, I wish I looked like that. I wish I was that thin. I wish I was going on these vacations. I wish I had this beautiful relationship somebody has, but it's all curated. And we spend so much time online looking at other people's lives without living our own. And that's something that I learned as well. And we have this fear of missing out and fear of not being, like all of these other people are, instead of just enjoying our own lives. And there's a term I had heard, I didn't come up with this, was JOMO, and it's the joy of missing out. And it's about getting off of social media and being okay with not seeing how everyone else is living their life, and live your own life
yeah.
and do all the fun stuff. And yeah, wear the tight dress and get all sweaty and go dance at the dance club. And because you want to go dance and have a good time, and you're not there for any other reason besides that. And that is when you're going to have the best time of your life, when you stop comparing yourself to other people, when you stop worrying about the outcome, stop setting expectations, and just go fucking enjoy yourself.
And give yourself a gold star.
I want a gold star.
Do you remember these?
Yes, I love those.
Yeah, life is shitty enough without adding to it yourself. So, like, just relax and give yourself a break. I think we gave you a lot of good tips on things that can make you feel all like warm and comforted and safe and nourished and happy. So,
Yes.
like, keep going back to that list. If you want to get a dry erase board for the refrigerator of rewards that you're going to earn, or give yourself stickers, or give yourself bracelets, or whatever, whatever helps you be you, whatever helps you push forward, because in accomplishing stuff you really do build self-esteem, and self-esteem is that unshakable foundation that nobody can take away from you.
100%. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you hung in for almost 2 hours.
Dude, seriously, this was like marathon.
But we had
But
so much stuff to share.
yeah, I know we do. But I think it's really important. So like share it with somebody that's struggling, honestly. And even if they only watch it in chunks while they're taking a bath in the morning or whatever, like I think that this is some good tips from two people that, grew up maybe on the darker side of life, that now find a lot of enjoyment out of life. And yeah, because we're rooting for you, and I hope that you're rooting for yourself too. This weekend, this next weekend, we have a little something planned that we don't discuss yet. But then in 2 weeks, Randy's going to be back, and he's going to roast the shit out of both of us, talking about the manosphere. I don't really
Yeah.
know.
I'm a little
I don't know
terrified.
what's going to happen.
Yeah. He's going to educate us on it. But
He's going to school the shit out of us. And I think next weekend we're back a little bit later than usual, 2 hours later. So it would be
yes.
noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Mountain time,
Yeah.
whatever time you're in.
We'll figure it out. But
Okay. Thank you,
yeah.
everyone. And thanks for all the great questions. There were so many more people in the chat. That was so exciting. So,
Yay.
growing.
Woo. So until next time, as Molly likes to say, thank you for giving a crap about us, because we sure as shit give a crap about you.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.